Okay, this is 1301 week 5 instructions. That will be for the week of Monday, September 21st. There'll be 2 grades that week. That will be the Chapter 5 quiz and Exam 1. I would prefer not to have chapter quizzes and exams the same week, but there are just not enough places to put that many chapter quizzes, 17 of them in all. So, it is what it is. An announcement about the chapter quizzes. I'll put this first. This is not the way I planned it or meant for it to be, but for years now, my chapter quizzes, which were paper-based, had 11 questions worth 10 points each. So basically, you had 11 chances to get 10 right. If you get all 11 right, you make 110, and that averages in as a 110%. This time, and I think it worked last spring, because last spring my chapter quizzes, I had far less time to get them set up. They just had 11 questions. Everybody saw the same 11 questions. And I think that's probably why it worked last spring. This fall, however, a chapter quiz is going to have a test bank of 15 or 20, maybe more questions, of which it will randomize 11. And Canvas will insist on averaging in a grade as a percentage of 110. Since 110 is 100% of 110, it'll count as a 100. Since 100 is 91% of 110, it'll be averaging as a 91. And I've tried everything I can think of and tugged at the sleeve of everybody I can think of, and there is not a way around this that I can count on that would be worth the enormous amount of time it would take to go back and fix it and take it from here. So I cannot fix the first 4. Sorry, wish I could. I don't think the impact will be significant on your final average. But starting with the Chapter 5 quiz, each quiz will have 10 questions. So you get 10 right, you made 100 as such, not 91. Have 9 right, that's a 90, and so on. I can't readily tell whether you attempted one or not. Typically, if you don't take one, after it's timed out, I go back and put in zeros, and I've already done that for the chapters 1 and 2 quizzes, and those are over. I extended the chapter 1 quiz 12 days after its original due date, but I'm pretty sure everybody's set up now where they have access to the main textbook in ebook format. If you bought that, I don't think very many people did. Okay, so far so good. The other thing next week will be the first exam. So let me remind you of how my exams are set up. There are 2 parts. There's a multiple choice section and there's an essay section. The multiple choice section consists of 25 3-option multiple choice questions based on the first 4 chapters of the supplements. They're not based on the main textbook. There's no direct relation between the chapter quizzes you've been taking and the first exam. Those are 2 separate tracks. And the multiple choice test bank could potentially be as many as 50 questions that it will randomize from. All right. When you're taking it, I think this shows on there, it's as if those questions are worth 1 point each, when the multiple choice section is rated at 50 points. So why aren't they 2 points each? Well, I could do that and it would save me some time, but I prefer to apply a formula to your raw score. Let them count a point each. I apply a generous little formula to your raw score to get how many points you get on a major exam. Now, chapter quiz grades go in the grade book, bang, automatically. I don't touch them. Major exams, since I have to manually grade your essays, those are going to be manually entered. So that's why it may say not for grade. And that, don't let that confuse you. It is for grade, but I put it into the grade book myself. Okay? So all you really need to know about the little formula is that you're very happy about it. So take it and run. Okay. So you will find the Exam 1 multiple choice section worksheet under study materials at the Canvas site. That's going to be basically in topical format or question format. Take that to the first 4 chapters of the supplements and get yourself ready as best you can. You're not likely to see any of the same questions that you saw on the chapter quizzes. I don't know of any at all. Okay, then there's the essay section, which will have 2 essay questions, of which you will answer 1. And that's what the instructions will say. You just answer 1 question. I've got over 170 students. Most of them will take this exam. I don't have time to read 2 questions for each of you. You pick your best shot and go for it. If you answer 2, and some people will because they just don't pay any attention to instructions, I'll grade the first one and move on. Okay? And those answers are rated at a max 50 points each. And if I see a good answer, I'll slap 50 points on it. I'm not shy about that. If I give you 45 or more, I've given you an A on that part of the test. 40 to 44 is a B. 35, 39 is a C. Below that, you get below 35, and it's kind of a different world. If I give you a grade in the mid or low 30s, or even just 30 points, or worst of all, 25 points, which is a floor. I don't like doing it, but I do floor this part of the test. That means that I had mercy, and I threw you some points, so maybe you could rise again and fight another day and not get blown out of the tub by 1 exam. Okay, fair enough? There we go. And remember, you have the test will be open for 4 days, and after that it will be closed, and I don't do makeups anymore because I think 4 days is plenty. If you wait till late to take it, if you wait till the last little while, you're placing a bet that you could lose. You're betting that nothing will go wrong in the hour that that test is going to be open. So make sure you leave yourself time. Okay, here's another thing you need to know about. I didn't use this last spring because I felt like I needed to continue things more or less the way they were set up as a face-to-face class, but this spring is different. This time for the exam and conceivably for chapter quizzes later, I'll be using 2 apps that work together. They're called the Lockdown Browser and the Respondus Monitor. First, the Lockdown Browser means that once you start the exam, the time limit, as I'm looking at it right now, is going to be 60 minutes. If you can't finish it in 60 minutes, there's trouble. I might make it more generous than that, but it won't be more than 75 minutes. Once you start, Lockdown takes over your computer. You won't be able to go to any other website. You won't be able to go look something up or anything like that, and you have 1 attempt. So if you get up and leave and come back, the clock keeps ticking. Keep that in mind. Okay? The Respondus Monitor employs your computer's webcam, and it is watching you take the exam, and it will flag suspicious activity like you talking to somebody, anybody, using your cell phone either to send or receive a call or to look up something, anything that looks suspicious. So consider that that's me watching you take a test in a classroom. And I have a very low tolerance of people using books or notes or anything like that. In fact, it does not happen. Okay? Now, if it flags something, see, I can sample through, or if I'm suspicious enough, I can watch you take that test. Not necessarily in real time, but later it's recording you. So, one good thing to know, make sure you are presentable. Right? Do not become part of an urban legend. They're out there. So I will be using that. I don't guarantee that I won't start using it for chapter quizzes because the grades are not in the same galaxy as they would be if people were taking them honestly without looking up the answers. I really don't like it when you do that. It defeats the purpose. I think that's about got it. There's probably something I forgot, but these are your instructions for week 5, the week of Monday, September 21st. Okay, have a good weekend. Keep yourself busy. But I did forget something. I forgot 2 things, and at this moment, I can only think of one of them. We'll see. Okay, to prepare for the essay section, for each exam, there's something called an essay prep document. Exam 1 essay prep. These are under study materials at the Canvas site. Print it out if you can. It guides you to certain selected topics, which could be the subject of essay questions on exam 1. Okay, so maybe I'll add another thing later if I think what the other thing was, but consider yourself warned.